pull, pull. So that's that. Let's go to the browning now. So the browning, first thing ultimately it feels, it's a bit heavier, it's a bit more chunkier. So that's the first thing that I feel. Pull. 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 So that's the Browning 20 bore. First thing I think, the recoil pads on the Brownings are slightly better. They're a little bit more soft, a little bit more give. They've just got that little bit there. Again, they're very much higher in the comb. So if you've, if you're very tall, it fits you slightly better. Kills, I was killing them just as well with the 20 bore, with the Beretta, than I was with the Browning. But the only difference is because it's that little bit heavier, when you've got something that's really hard, it stops you throwing it and makes you control it. So that's the only difference. And generally a Browning is a little bit more bulkier than what a Beretta is anyway, because of the way the action is formed. But generally, Italian guns are a little bit more delicate, rather than Browning is quite solid. That's why a lot of people like them for clays. It's got the Maruca action because they're solid and they go, where you put them, they tend to go and they break, rather than you have to throw it there and push it there. Again, multi-choke, other than that, it's all pretty much the same as the Beretta. But that's a good all-round gun for your money of £1,500–1,600. And then you've got the Yildiz. The first thing I feel about the Yildiz is probably the lightest out of three of them. Recoil pad's a little bit harder than both of the other two. So again, it's multi-choke, a little bit lighter. Let's have a look, see what that's like. Pull. 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 So that's the Yildiz. Again, kill-wise, you can't kill. It kills just as well as the Beretta and the Browning. You can't fault it on that. Handling-wise, it handles very similar to the Browning. It's a little bit more, the only difference with the Beretta, it's a little bit more lighter, which makes it a little bit more delicate when you're handling it. This handles out. The only thing I would say, which you can't really fault them for because it's half the price of a Beretta or a Browning, is the triggers aren't quite as crisp as on a Beretta or Browning. The triggers tend to be a little bit more, but it's 750 quid as opposed to 1,500 quid. So you can't really put that in the same league. But generally the barrel, the handling of it, the recoil, there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there, just like the other two. For value for money, you cannot knock this gun. This gun is possibly one of the most best value for money guns you'll get. Just like the Yildiz 12 bore. They've made it, that's why Yildiz have come up so quickly, is they've looked at other products and they've made it affordable, but they've also tried to make it handable as well. It's got ventilated ribs, it's got multi-chokes. You can't really knock the Yildiz at all. So putting it up against those two, which I thought was a little bit, everyone knows Beretta and Browning, everyone wants them. But I have to say, I do think putting this up against, it definitely holds its piece. I think the Yildiz up against the Beretta and Browning is definitely in that 3rd or 4th place with Maruku. Oh.